Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The time now is 40 minutes past 8. Today is Thursday, 8th of May 2025, and today we are going to listen to the presentation for LCC402. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite the first pair to start their presentations. You have 10 minutes from now. Okay. First pair, you can start now. Can share. Second pair, please get ready. Yeah. Dapat ikahan bersama.
Hi and good morning everyone. My name is Huda and this is my partner Nuri. Today we will be presenting about an important topic is child abuse in Malaysia. Introduction. Slide. Okay, we choose this topic because we believe that awareness leads to change. Okay, when I was younger, I believe every child grew up in a safe environment surrounded by care, protection, and love. But as I grew older, I started to see a different reality. It is news stories and social media posts reveal heartbreaking case of children being mistreated even right here in Malaysia. Okay, one as example, one case that really touched us was the story of Bella, a child with Down syndrome who suffered abuse while under supposed protection. This case made us realize that child abuse isn't just happening in silence, it's happening everywhere, in home, in school, and even in care institution. Sadly, many these cases go unnoticed because the victims are too afraid to speak up. They don't know who to trust or being silenced by those who should be protecting them. Okay. In this presentation, we aim to highlight the type of child abuse and present the statistic in Malaysia from 2019 to 2024.
In this second slide, the first diagram of our presentation is about the type of child abuse in Malaysia. From the pie chart, it is evident that sexual abuse is the most reported, which is 59.7%. This happens when a child is forced into sexual activity like touching or showing private part. The second highest is physical abuse, 29.3%, where a child is hurt. These include hitting, kicking, or burning a child. It can leave both physical injury and long-term fear or trauma. Financial abuse happens when someone take or use a child money or property without permission, or force the child to work for money without care. Next, neglect abuse means not giving the child what they need, like food, clean clothes, or safe home. This can lead to health problem and affect the child development. Lastly, emotional abuse, including insulting or making a child feel unwanted. Even though this is not a physical, it can deeply hurt a child's self-esteem and emotional well-being. However, there are other type of abuse such as verbal abuse and social abuse, but they are not shown in this chart because due to the lack of specific data. So total case in 2023 were 4,225 cases.
Right. Okay. In the this is the important statistic regarding the child abuse case in Malaysia from 2019 to 2024. As shown in this bar chart, the number of reported child abuse cases remained quite consistent from 2019 to 2021 with around 6,000 cases each year. In 2022, the number increased to 2,462 cases, the highest number in this 6-year period. However, the trend began to change in 2023 with a significant drop to 4,469 cases. In 2024, up until August, the case have 2,240 been reported. While this number may seem low, but we must remember that the year has not yet ended. In this trend continue, it is possible that 2024 will record fewer cases compared to previous year. For the example, in 2024, Malaysia was shaken by a major child abuse scandal involving such as GISB Holding Sedan Berhad in an operation called OP Global. Authority rescues 625 victims. Most of them are children from premise linked to GISB. These children, some as young as 2 years old, were reportedly abused physically, sexually, and emotionally. They were denied medical care, burned with hot metal objects, and even forced to abuse one to another. Some had suffered in silence for years. There are more than 400 individuals, including teachers, caretakers, and even the CEO of the company, were arrested. This case revealed how abuse can be hidden behind religious or institutional authority and how important it is to speak up and take action.
So we can conclude that child abuse is a very serious problem that hurts children physically and emotionally. Raising awareness about this issue is very important because it helps stop abuse, support victims, and teach people how to protect children. This finding underline the importance of continued public awareness campaigns, collaboration between school, healthcare provider and social service is essential to ensure early detection and response. We must talk openly about child abuse, teach children their right, and make sure law protect them. Everyone, which is parent and community, must work together to keep children safe because it is not only a governmental responsibility. So, by understanding the data, we can work toward creating a safer environment for the children. No children should suffer in silence. By speaking up and taking action, we can create a safer world where every children grow up happy and loved. Let's stand together to end child abuse because every child deserves protection and care. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nurin, I asked you to introduce the second pair, isn't it? All right, since Nurin, since the first pair didn't introduce the second pair, my web WhatsApp. Let's listen to the presentation of the second pair. This is Nurin and Uda supposed to do this. I like to welcome the second pair to present their.
Doctor, before that, can I ask question to pair 1?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that is supposed to that is supposed to do that lah. You know, like we like to open the floor for question and yeah.
I want to ask, what are some common signs that a child may be experiencing abuse?
Uda.
Yes, I'm here. Common sign of child abuse, we can see like a sudden behavior change, like aggressive or fear of certain adult, and inappropriate knowledge of sexual topic. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I know who asked question just now? Azhari, is it?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, I'll take note of that. Okay, can we listen? Thank you for asking the question, Azhari. Okay. Second pair.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And can everyone see my slide and hear my voices?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Here is our group presentation. We are group number 2, and my name is Muhammad Azari bin Johari, and he is my pair, which is
Muhammad Fazli Hakimi bin Elias.
alright. And then we will present about the pandemophobia and its effect on mental health. I'll move this slide. Right in. Okay, first the introduction. We know that there's increasing cases of mental health problem after the COVID-19 pandemic, and the percentage of the mental health problem has increased after the COVID-19 pandemic, which we will look after this. And for the background of topic, I will explain about the pandemophobia definition, which is in short is the fear of the pandemic itself. So when someone have a fear or a phobia in a certain topic, which shows there are individuals experiencing this may also worry excessively about going to the public places, encountering strangers, and the security of their finances. And for the credibility, we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic, so we know what is the challenges and the burden that we experience in COVID-19 pandemic. So we were burdened with a lot of pressure such as educational, family pressure, and also financial. And we will tell you more about the pandemophobia and its effect on our mental health. And here is our central idea. As the pressure of the COVID-19 pandemic rises, we observe significant impacts on mental well-being, including the emergence of conditions like pandemophobia. Okay, I will move to the first chart, which is the stack bar chart. I will explain about the changes in mental health before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the criteria is depression, anxiety, psychological distress, stress, mental well-being, loneliness, hyperactivity, negative effect, and also positive effect. Alright, our sample is 21 students aged from 10 to 24 years old. And then we have the graph here. It shows the blue is the mental health deteriorated. The orange one is the mental health improve, and the gray one is no difference. And we need to know that we as a student or maybe as a human being, we can have more than one mental health problem at the same time, like a collection, which is not good. So I will explain that the most of the student suffers from the depression, which which shows the 10 total of 10 here, and then I will show the how many students have their mental health deteriorated after the pandemic. Okay, which means before and after pandemic their mental health become worsened or much more worse. So ex-student who suffers from depression and also anxiety factor, 4 student for the psychological distress, 2 students for each stress, mental well-being, loneliness, hyperactivity, negative effect, and also 1 student who have their mental health deteriorated in positive effect, which means it become worse. They are not positive anymore. And also for the no effect, there is 2 students who suffer stress. Maybe they are stressed before the pandemic and after pandemic, still the same. And also 1 student in the factor of depression, anxiety, and positive effect. And fortunately, there is a student who their mental health improve, which is 1 student in depression. All right. Some people wonder if hyperactivity is one of the mental health problem. It is. When we are in pandemic COVID-19, we are in lockdown. We cannot go outside, so we did not socialize with each other. So we become hyper in our home. So it happened like that. And I believe that's all for our first bar chart. And I will move to the second bar chart, which my partner Fazli will present. Pardon me, I want to close my mic and also my camera. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, my partner Azhari. So right now, I'm going to show you about the group bar chart. As you can see from here, this is the bar chart taken from a sample of 775 people. So with the mean age of about 32 years old, we can see from here, there is a 5 level of uh, seriousness of depression and anxiety and stress. So as we can see from the left one, from the left, the normal level of the depression, anxiety, and stress is above 60%. So the seriousness is about 30% of people in on from the respondent is having mild to extremely severe apa extremely severe depression, anxiety, and stress level. So uh, at, so from the mild, we can see there is about 8.8% for depression, anxiety 5.5, stress 6.2, and so on. So from the moderate, it's about 30.7% for depression, 12.6% for the anxiety, and 6.2% for stress. For the severe level of the depression, 4.4, anxiety 4.1, stress 6.1. Extremely severe, 6.8% of depression, 10.8% of anxiety, and 3.0% of stress. Okay, so from the group bar chart, we can see that most people having extremely severe anxiety. For not most, but 1 out of 10 people having extremely severe anxiety, because maybe it's from the school, maybe it's from the workplace that we live in, or maybe it's from the houses, from the family. Like maybe our family is not supporting enough, so that we have some anxiety going on inside our mind. Maybe it's social anxiety, maybe it's another kind of anxiety, like making friends with people. Right? So one of the most common anxiety in Malaysia is actually a social anxiety. A social anxiety is a thing that most people develop when they are in COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. During the MCO, during the pandemic, we need to take our we need to take care of ourselves, and we need to stay at home, and this resulting in the uh, in the level of the anxiety we have currently. So one of the most factors I would say for the adults would be the job insecurity. The job insecurity happens when we lost a job, when we doesn't have money to pay for the bills, to feed our families. As a man of our family, as a man, as a leader of our family, we need to feed them. So, but since the MCO requires a lot of people to stay at home, and the company usually just dismiss their workers, since they want to ensure the profit will be at the same level as the expenses. So as we can see from here, 14.9% of respondents reported severe to extremely severe anxiety, and 11.2% reported from severe to extremely severe level of depression. And 60 and I would say that most of them, above 60%, had negative perception when hearing about the daily COVID-19 cases and deaths, because of the seriousness of the deaths. Maybe they are afraid that they will get infected, and and maybe they need to go to the hospital, and then they need to stay at hospital for a long time, and maybe at the end they will not live for a second day. And so about 51.7% had perception of risk of infection. And oh yeah. In conclusion, we can say that uh, about the data that we have gathered around right now, about the Azhari part, which is from the school, which is about depression level in among the teenagers, while my cases, I got it from the adults. I got the respondent to be, most of them is adults, and we can see that even to the teenagers, have some kind of depression, some kind of level of anxiety, some kind of level of stress going on because of the pandemic, because of the stresses of the final exam, maybe their studies and so on. And maybe it could be because of the uh, maybe because of some sensitive issues like abuses, in their house, in maybe they got physically abused in their house by their parent or by the caretaker or so on. Maybe they got some molested in their house. So that's when the COVID-19 appeared, then they need to stay at home, and then nobody can support them since the problem is inside their house. So I would say that the COVID-19 pandemic is a critical issue, happens to the Malaysian. But right now, no, there is no problem about it, because the vaccine that we got injected inside our body is already fighting with any kind of variants for COVID-19. So where even though that Malaysia doesn't report about the COVID-19 cases anymore, but still the Malaysia is still taking action behind the system to ensure that nobody would would experience the same kind of pandemic to be happen again. So yeah, that's all from me. I'm sorry for my mistake earlier. And if you have any question, maybe you can ask me. Okay.
Okay, so Azhari and Fazli, our group have question to ask. Okay, so the question is, how can people prevent mental health problems after the pandemic?
Okay. One of the key ways for me would be getting a hobbies. Like maybe you are like reading books, reading novels. Maybe you love to fishing. Maybe you love to riding motorcycle. But it's not. So let's say if you are just kind of people that love to stay at home, you can maybe have an interaction with your family and growing up the bonds with them so that the problem, the anxiety, the depression would not be long lasting. Or maybe you can jog. Maybe for my case, I like to jog around the campus every evening. So I would like to jog. And I would also ask my friend if they want to jog around with me because it will help our our ability to communicate with them since the pandemic make ourselves cannot communicate clearly with people since we are isolated from the around the world. So that's my answer for that question. And is there any question? Okay. If not, I would like to call the pair 3, which is sorry. Right. Sorry. I would like to call the pair 3, which is Awangku Habib Akhtar and Aidil Naim, to present their slide. Right. Thank you.
Alright. Hi. Good morning. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, respected lecturer and our beloved friend. Thank you for joining us today. Me, Awangku Habib Akhtar.
And me, Aidil Naim bin Akhir.
In a world of a single slide can connect us to billion, Malaysia has emerged to be one of the most developing nation. So today, we would like to invite you to join us the journey for social media trend and screen time among Malaysian citizens. Can you guys hear my voice and see screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you guys. Next. Okay, introduction. Social media play a huge role in everyday life of people in Malaysia. Hi. Okay, this show how much time Malaysian citizens spend on their screen and how their use of social media has changed over recent years. Like every year, more growth of the usage for social media. Next. Okay, for our credibility, we refer to reliable sources such as Melwater, The Star Malaysia, and recent academic study. Why we choose this topic is because we want to raise awareness and responsibility among Malaysian citizens. And the second reason we choose this topic is when we use social media, we can get update about current issue. So we think the most perfect source you can use to get data, news, gossip, and so on is social media. Next. Okay, for background of topic, social media has rapidly evolved from a communication tool to an essential part of culture. We use social media for entertainment, education, and social interaction. For entertainment, we use Instagram for like Instagram Reel, YouTube, and Facebook. For education, we can use social media to join online classes and we can make a research from social media. Okay, and then if we use the social media in a long time, it can lead to affect our mental health and study. So guys, please control your your usage of social media and screen time. Okay, for the next slide, as you guys can see, this is a line graph, which is daily time spent with media in Malaysia. We get this data from qwi.com in third quarter in 2023. As you guys can see there, using the internet is the highest, followed by watching television, using social media, and the most least used is using game console. For the next part, I would like to give it to Aidin Naim.
If you guys want to know more information about the graph, you can refer to this data. You can read. From the analysis of the screen data, internet usage takes up the largest portion of screen time. This shows strong dependence digital media for work, education, communication, and entertainment. From the data, Malaysia spent about 2.85 hours on TV and 2.08 hours on social media daily. Overall, the data highlight a highly digital and screen-dependent lifestyle. Okay, next we move to the second bar chart. Favorite social media platform. This data is from January 2024, and the data shows top social media platform in Malaysia, which is WhatsApp. That was the most used, and then it was followed by TikTok and Facebook. Platform like Pinterest, Discord are less popular. And the short form, visual content are highly favored. From analysis of social media usage, we can conclude that WhatsApp is the most preferred social media platform in Malaysia. This shows a strong preference for instant messaging apps. And from the data we get, TikTok and Instagram are popular for short form and visual content. And then these platforms are especially favored by younger users. Uh, the less popular apps like X and Xiaohongshu suggest smaller user base or niche appeal. For conclusion, Malaysia spend the most of their day on internet-based media. And then internet usage exceed 8 hours per day on average, which is the top 3 most used media social platform was WhatsApp, TikTok, and Facebook. This reflects a strong preference for communication and entertainment focused apps. Screen usage in Malaysia is heavily influenced by social interaction. Uh, I, and then we go to reference. Reference we get Meltwater 2024 January, social media statistic Malaysia, and the second is global AdTech, ND, or screen time is not equal. Okay, the different types of screen time retrieved May 2, 2025 from this link. Then, okay, I think that's all from our group. If you guys have a question, you guys can ask now.
We have a question. What types of screens do you use regularly?
All right, thank you for your question, Sarah and D. I regularly use the following type of screen, which is smartphone screen, my phone, iPhone 11, green color, and then laptop screen, my laptop. Television screen, if I at home. That's all from us. Have you? Do you guys have any question yet, or no? Okay, I assume you guys have no question anymore. So I would like to invite next pair, which is Nurliana Nadira and Sarah Najia, to present their topic. Thank you.
You are muted.
Wait, madam, network issue.
Okay, take your time. Okay, take your time. I'd like to remind you to log in your attendance on YouFuture, yeah? The recording of this presentation will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, and I will share with you the YouTube channel link. Are you ready? If you are ready, you can start your presentation. Luckily, it's a small class, so we can finish our presentation in just one day, right? The last pair, okay, last pair is, you get ready, yeah? The last pair, Fatin, Erin, and Putri.
Alright, doctor.
Okay.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Madam, do you still excited to hear us presenting? Yes. Okay, so let us start by looking at the topic. So the topic now is the gender gap in the world of work. Yes. So what do you guys think when this topic came to your mind? Do you guys feel like women are much better than men or men are much better than women?
Men are better.
Women better.
Yes. Okay, so we might thought that women are better, and then some thought that men are better, but the reality in today's world is that women actually has less job opportunities than men. So the topic today is many Malaysian women continue to face visible forms of discrimination in the world of work. So the gender inequality in the workplace remains a major issue affecting women's income, leadership roles, and career growth. So today, we stand at a critical crossroad where one, education is no longer barrier for women, like in university, like women do excel in studies in universities, in schools, where women does not experience discrimination, while in the world of work, the workplace is still experiencing women discrimination for job opportunities. So around the world and here in Malaysia, women are graduating in higher numbers than ever before. Yet they continue to face unequal opportunities, lower wages, and other more. So
First, we go for the definition. So, what is a gender gap? It is differences in labor market outcomes between men and women, such as the labor force composition, occupational choices and wage, and income disparities. So, in this presentation, we will analyze the trends of share of employment between genders, and we will see the progress in salary gap between genders throughout the years.
yeah, so after you are already done knowing the gender gap definition, so we would like to express our thoughts that this topic is very important to us because it reflects a real issue that affects not only women, but the growth and fairness of our entire society. So in Malaysia today, women, like I said before, women are excelling in education, outnumbering men in university graduation rates. So, however, despite their qualification and hard work, like women does, many still struggle to find equal footing in the workforce. So they face lower participation rates, earn less on average, and often underrepresented in leadership roles, like in political side. There are many men than women. So this clear disconnect between education and employment opportunities raises a serious question to me, like why are women being held back even after overcoming so many barriers? So yes, why?
So, as a young woman preparing to enter the working world, this topic feels personal and urgent for us. So, we want to enter a workforce that values ability and effort over gender. So, we want to know that our future, the future of other capable women, won't be limited to outdated norms, unconscious bias, or systemic inequality. So, discussing this issue is very crucial. This is the first step towards the change for us in the future. By addressing gender discrimination in the world of work, we raise awareness, challenge social expectations, and encourage institutions to adopt fairer and more inclusive practices.
Yes. So after knowing all the why and why do we pick this topic, so now we move on. Let's dive into the real statistical data that shows women are underrepresented in the world of work. So from this bar chart, we can see in the public admin and society and social security, the percentage of male employees dominate with 78.1, leaving only 20.9 for female workers. While actually we do have a degree. We do have until masters and PhD. And then why in the public admin and social security, which is good for women, we did not have higher chances of employment? So this does raise a serious question to us. That's why we picked this topic. And then you can also see from the real estate activities and admin and support services show relatively more balanced distribution. This is where not quite balanced actually, but it's 38.6% female and 38.8 female representing the each department. So the next is the other service activities and wholesale and retail trade, which is women are far more better in these selected sectors because they exhibit the highest employment shares because they work in specific areas. Yes. So this all graphs shows women are far more less to get better job opportunities.
So next, the next chart is a line graph. on mean monthly salaries and wages by sex in 2020 until 2023. So just by looking at the graph, we can instantly see that salaries for men are relatively higher than women at all times. So mean monthly salaries and wages for men in 2020 is 3,011, while women 2,872 ringgit. And in 2023, men earned 3,532 ringgit, while women 3,311 ringgit. So you can see that there is a gap, and the gap is widening from 4.61% in 2020 to 6.26% in 2023. This is concerning for me, even though people may say that the percentage is very low. It's not even 10%. But why is there even a gap? There shouldn't be a gap for between men and women in the workforce. So why does this happen? One of the main reasons this thing happened is because of the segregation in jobs. So referring to what my partner has said in the previous chart, there are several roles that men get and women get. Men and women often work in different sectors. There are other industries such as engineering, oil and gas, IT that are male dominated, and those industries tend to pay higher, while women are stuck in education, caregiving roles, and those pay a lot less than the industries that I mentioned. So next, the other reason is the roles in the office. Men are more likely to hold senior roles and leadership roles such as manager, director, the chiefs, while women face barriers to even achieve that level. And the other reason why the salaries for women is less than men is because there are work interruptions, career interruptions. So women are more likely to take a career break for maternal leave, for childcare, like your child sick. So this affect the promotion and salary growth. So to conclude, from the presentation, we can see that this issue is still very much alive in Malaysia. Even though it may seem subtle, it seems like a very small.
Like people do not pay attention to this.
Yes, the percentage of the gender gap salary, for example, is very small, but it is very much alive. And this is a pressing issue. And this issue requires a multifaceted approach by the government and the companies. And the approach includes, first one, anti-discrimination policies. So anti-discrimination policies is not just for gender, it is also for race, disability, and religion. And it is very important because these policies ensure equal opportunities for all employees and create a respectful work environment. So the companies should apply these policies. So next, institutionalizing childcare or providing parental and caregiver leave. So as I mentioned earlier about the maternal leave often affect women's career growth. So it is important for companies to provide these parental leave. The last one, the companies should consider measures that ensure pay equity and salary transparency to address the gender pay gap. So this could include mandating pay audits for companies to evaluate the pay for men and women. So especially in sectors and occupations where women are consistently underpaid. So, okay. Uh, we- so this issue is very important because not only this it affects the economy and
The women discrimination in the word of okay. So we must challenge outdated norms, break down barriers, and create inclusive environments where women can thrive, lead, and shape the future. So because when women succeed, everyone benefits.
So improving women's labor force participation is very critical, not only for advancing gender equality and improving women's own financial security, but for supporting Malaysia's broader economic development. So thank you. Is there any question from the floor?
I have a question.
How does the gender gap affect companies?
So gender inequality can lead to decrease employee morale, lower retention,
reduce innovation,
and miss business opportunities. So this diverse leadership is proven to improve performance and profitability for the companies.
Yes.
Is that it?
Did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we would like to call the next
Pair.
It's actually 3 people.
Erin, Putri, Nur Erin.
The influence of HIV education on adolescents' sexual behavior. Fatin, Erin, and Putri.
Hi.
Okay, good morning. Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Wan and all my friends. Okay, so today,
Good
first of
morning.
all, first of all, imagine learning how to swim after you have jumped into the ocean. It's scary, right?
Yes.
But
Scary.
yes, but this happened to adolescents who face the world of relationships and sexuality without HIV education. Okay, what is adolescence and sexual behavior? Adolescence is a time when young people
Minta outline baru siap slide.
begin to explore their sexuality.
Welcome to my life.
Sarah and Dee, please mute.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Okay. Adolescence is a time when young people begin to explore their sexuality, which can lead to risky behaviors like unprotected sex and multiple relationship, like today with Devi, another day with Bella, and another day lagi, and another day with Sheila. So that it does increase the risk of HIV. So, what is the importance of HIV education? First of all, improve understanding of sexual health. HIV education provides adolescents with accurate and comprehensive knowledge about their body, reproductive health, and the risk with unprotected sex. So they can take care of their health. So secondly, reduce risky behavior. When adolescents are educated about HIV, it can change their sexual behavior uh, uh, like do the checkup, and education encourage safer practices like uh, choose the safe relationship. Okay. Third, empower adolescents to make informed choice. Adolescents understand and confident to make their choice aligned to the health goals. And lastly, help prevent HIV transmission among young. So with the enough education, with the proper education, adolescents can stop spread the virus HIV in the community. Okay, next. Education is a protection. So is the key, education is a protection. Okay. Effective HIV education equip adolescents with the knowledge and confidence to make safer sexual choice, thereby reducing HIV risk. All of this we need to apply. Even if we just get the education but not apply, it can be like drama on TV3 right now, like what the title? Keluarga itu. How can his father, his own father, to make to their daughter, own daughter. Okay, next we move to the statistic.
Okay, so from what Atin has presented to you, sorry, I do believe that all of you have seen what is the actual core issue here, which this young adult, these adolescents nowadays, they are sexually active, but they are not fully aware of the consequences that they are going to have. That's why we believe that by having a proper sexual education, especially in HIV awareness, is very important to make sure that these adolescents, they are actually aware of what they're doing. Whenever they're making decision, it's always going to be an informed one. They are fully aware for the consequences and they're not going to regret afterwards. With all this, it's nothing if we didn't show you the data that we obtained from the National Health and Morbidity Survey. This survey was done during 2022 and it was done among the youngsters. It was done for the school students in Malaysia in different states. From this data, it shows that states like Kelantan have the highest percentage, the highest prevalence rate at 7.3%. You can see that even though Kelantan is known as a very conservative state, that doesn't determine if you came from a very conservative state, you are not going to, the adolescents there are not going to engage with the sexual activity. No matter where they came from, if they have the desire, a very high sexual desire, they're still going to do it. So as a citizen, that's why I would like to emphasize again, it's very important for us to educate them, for them to make sure that they have the proper knowledge and information before they make the decisions. But we can also see here, the lowest prevalence is actually from Selangor, which is 4.4%. But that, for me, is not low enough. For adolescents nowadays, 4.4 is quite high. And that's why I want to emphasize again, no matter where you came from, no matter how conservative your state is, the belief of culture and religion value itself is not working, it's not enough. That's why proper sexual education is important. Because without proper sexual education, the teens who are making decisions to get involved into sexual activity, are they making decisions that they are well aware of? And I am going to go to the next slide, which we are going to present you the data of the prevalence of adequate HIV knowledge among adults in Malaysia. As you can see here, it's not surprising. It's actually Kelantan who have the lowest prevalence, which only 0.7%, considering the sexual activity is actually 7.3%. Only 0.7% of them are well aware of the HIV knowledge. That is quite dangerous. But Pulau Pinang have the highest. If we see from this data, Pulau Pinang have the highest, which is 2.5%. But is 2.5% enough? Is 2.5% enough for the whole adolescents? It's still low. So that's the reason why having proper sexual education is important. So state like Kelantan, where they are sexually active, is very high, but they are having a very low HIV knowledge. So this gap between the behavior and the awareness that they are having is very, very dangerous. But I would like to clarify that I am not attacking Kelantan. This is not just a Kelantan issue. This is actually happening nationwide, and it's a national issue that all of us should take serious of. And we should not take this for granted. And by not having the mindset of, if you talk about sexual education, it's taboo and it's inappropriate. It's not that. I think the awareness that we are trying to give here for you to understand that. And from the numbers that I've shown you, it's clearly show that our adolescents, the adolescents in Malaysia right now are having low information. They are having low awareness in sexual education, and they are not well aware of. So that's why awareness and proper education is really, really important, not just all those religious and cultural value that we have been taught since we were young. That alone is not enough. By having proper education, it supported the value that we learn. And now I will pass to Puteri Hanania, which will explain to you how we can actually address this problem.
Hello. Okay. So this is some awareness related to this topic. Firstly is sexual health education. So knowledge is very important because with knowledge we can protect ourselves from this from this HIV transmitted. So if we know and understand about how HIV is transmitted, the more we can stop it from spread. So then we can promote safe practice. So like educate on the importance of using condoms correctly and consistently to prevent unwanted problem like HIV, other STIs and unplanned pregnancies. So what is other STIs? Other STIs is sexual transmitted infections. So last but not least is open communication, like breaking stigma. So how it works? It works by normalize discussion about sexual health to break the stigma surrounding this topic, allowing questions to be asked and ask help without the fear of judgment. Okay, so the conclusion is HIV education is essential for guiding adolescents towards safer sexual behaviors. When young people have access to the right kind of information, something that actually makes sense to their age group, and they feel more empowered to protect themselves and make informed decisions. Evidence shows that those who get proper education about HIV tend to avoid risky behavior and also take prevention seriously. So if we actually want to cut down HIV rates in young people, we need to make sure the education is not just there, but that it speaks to their needs. In the end, it's not just about giving our facts, it's about building a future generations that's healthier and knowledgeable generation. So when they get freedom one day, they know the consequence about the choice that they make, because they already have informed decisions since adolescence. So I think that's all from us.
So is there any question from any of you?
Yes, I have a question for you.
Okay, what is it?
Wait a minute. Our question is, based on your finding, why is Kelantan a significant focus in your data analysis? Are you racist or not?
Okay, to be clarified, we are not attacking any state here, but we do focus on Kelantan because the data itself shows that it has the highest rate of adolescent sexual activity, which is 7.3%, but it also has the lowest level of HIV knowledge, which is 0.7%. And we also know that Kelantan is known as a very conservative or preserved state, as we know. It's not a stigma, but I think it's a reality. Any of you from Kelantan, I think you know how it is. And where it's a state where actually some of the people there are having the thoughts where you discuss about sexual education, it's very inappropriate or taboo, I might say. And this contra, those data that we share with you guys, it proves that having strong religious or cultural value alone is not enough, and we still need sexual education to support those values. Because adolescents nowadays, they're not the same like the older generations. You know, they can't just accept no as a reason. You can't just say, oh no, you can't do that, or you know, you can't do that. They full of why, what, when, how. So instead of you just say no, you explain to them, you expose them with a proper education, like what is happening, what is the consequences that you're going to have. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we can't control someone's desire. If they're very, very high in sexual desire, we can't control them. But it's our job, it's our responsibility to actually educate them so that whatever decision that they are making is actually aware of. They are well aware of the consequences, they know what are they facing. So whatever happened, they have to face it by their own. They have to be responsible. And they're not going to blame other people for not educate them, for not giving them the awareness that they should have. So that's why, again, I would like to emphasize proper educations help to bridge that gap. So does that answer your questions?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the last presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. So that marks the end of our presentation session today. Let's end with the recitation of Tasbih Kifara and Wal-As. Anybody like to volunteer?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanallah. Sakhara lana Allahumma ta'ala.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Wal asina bil insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye.